This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, there is a reason as to why it's called Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Well, clearly you see the reason. I am hearing new words and new names here, so I will be sharing with you from what I have had. But good morning, Uganda. Thank you for being with us this morning. It's the Friday special, of course, seeing as we are coming close to the end of the week. How was your week? A lot of things have happened all the way from Monday till now. But in all of that, we did start off also a new month. We did conclude another one, so it's quite wonderful and amazing that we are here. My name is Philomena, Mastiko, and I am with Uncle Bob. I do have Mollen this morning, and Felix as well is joining us. Well, the weather has been quite friendly, I should say, for the last couple of hours. I couldn't say days because I don't even know how long, but I know for the last hours the weather has been friendly, and maybe Mollen could be telling us what is the secret behind that. Mollen, good morning, happy Friday.
Yes, thank you so much. A very good morning. And well, I think the friendly bit is that there are no rains, probably across many areas, but then again you hear people who want the rain. So I don't know whether to say it's good or bad. It's probably good if you wanted that kind of weather, and bad if you wanted otherwise. So that's where we are. Otherwise, it's a Friday. And well, we get into the weekend quite with happy smiles. So I hope we do achieve that goal today.
I saw people doing Mpele, I don't know, but yeah. Felix has something to say about that. Felix, good morning. And this does not indicate or imply that you are doing the Mpele, but...
Well, you make it seem like us. But anyway, good morning, Philo.
Good morning, how are you?
Bob and Mollen, how are you guys?
We are okay.
Well, it's a Friday. People say it's a special day. I'm struggling with finding the special.
How special it is. No,
knowing that this weekend we have to be paying tuition, school fees and all these kind of things. So as many people wanted Friday to reach, some of us didn't want much of it to come quite close. But nevertheless, it is what it is. We're also fast-tracking in this month. You people call...
Month of love.
I don't know why. I need an explanation to that. And who tagged it that? Because they need to be called to a meeting, to an elders forum. Whatever their reasons were, we need to adjust some of those reasons. As long as there's a word school fees in a month, where does the love come from?
But you see, that's also a form of love. If you're paying school fees for the children, that is an indirect way of saying you love them. So, I mean, we're celebrating all types of love at the end of the day.
Yeah, you try to twist everything back to love. But nevertheless, love is a good feeling, as a matter of fact. It's one of the biggest commandments that God gave us. So for that reason, we do celebrate love. Probably that's why Philo chose to put on red.
Red.
Looking at you since morning, and I'm thinking to myself,
actually today, just to let you know, it's National Wear Red Day. So I'm sorry you people missed out the memo, but
just National what?
You just have to wear red today.
Now you're confusing Felix.
Red is such a beautiful color. I don't know why you have those feelings towards red, but like I did say, we put this responsibility upon ourselves, myself and Mollen, to make sure that we change your attitude towards red, towards February.
How do you rate yourself so far?
On a scale of 10? On a scale of 10?
Have you done
probably like 4.
But remember, we're counting down to Valentine's.
Yes.
So I'm thinking maybe we need to up our game when it comes to Felix. He's not getting it yet. And we're just closer to Valentine's. I don't know whether we need to get you like a bouquet that day. We need to do something for you to start believing in Valentine's.
Yes. About bouquets, did you see all this thing about social media and how they're using money as flowers and all this kind of thing?
Pressure.
Yeah. No, not on social media. In real life, it's happening.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? Like, what the hell is
it's
that?
It's a sign of showing love, yes.
With money?
So as opposed to having flowers, you could do a bouquet of money. 20,000 notes, 50,000 notes.
I know
one person though who would do it.
No,
Uncle
you
Bo.
see, there is
I'm sure Uncle Bob would do it.
With
Uncle
Felix,
Bob.
really.
Good morning.
Yeah, Babu. Yeah.
Robert, why are you laughing? You wouldn't indulge in it?
Definitely
Come
I
on,
do
I thought
anything.
you're now
When
aside.
it comes to my lady, I do anything.
This is the guy.
Thank
this
you.
is the guy.
You see, this is the particular kind of talk that makes me love
Because
Robert.
I caught that from my father. He told me that a man is supposed to sacrifice for his woman and children. That when you go to a function and you're dressed in a suit, looking so good, and your children are in funny shoes, funny trousers, your wife, the hair is not done, people will not respect you. But even if the man comes dressed averagely, and the children and the wife are very smart, they will say yes.
Who will say yes, Robert?
The people will understand. The wife, they look at you, madam, very excellent. The children, you fit, and they'll say yes. This man, because that's what you're meant to do as a man. So I learned that's all about sacrifice. I grew up seeing my father sacrificing for us, going that extra mile. We dress to the end. We go in good schools. He would not dress that very hot. Mom dresses very smart, so he's my role model, and I learned things. So I'll do anything to please my woman. I'll do anything to please my children. As long as that is
Also, just put it out there, Robert is not single. He's
with
man.
due respect
Yes.
father
to Robert,
Yes.
and
and I respect Robert so much. But when you keep on using the words to please, to please, to please, to please,
To make them happy.
to please, I am not.
because Felix, they make me
Gonna
happy.
get-
Even when I've had a bad day.
As I
and-
said, I'm very particular about the words you've been using. To please, to please, to please.
Felix, don't spread this negativity.
Felix,
Don't
one
spread
of
the
the things you
negativity.
must understand.
All
Keep on
all
pleasing.
Robert is saying is he would do anything
To
for
please.
someone he loves. But for you,
happy.
you're dismissing it all. Like you're not even willing to.
Because what is wrong, you know, what is wrong if I'm going to spend maybe 200 to make that, or 300, and if I have the money, and I know it's someone is going to feel, you know, the simple things are what really make love special. Yeah? It's not getting a car, it's not, but what you can afford at that time.
Yes.
When I reach levels of buying Range Rovers, I saw Minister Runa Kaso introducing, and he brought this Range Rover with the name.
Yes.
I long to get there. God.
I mean, when the finances are financing,
For
why
now,
wouldn't
if
you
I
do
can
it?
afford a bucket of money worth 300, I'll do that for now.
Yes.
And when I get there, and of course, guys, it's a Friday. Felix talks about school fees, but I was speaking to some. You know, Ugandans are very funny. You people, we are indeed the happiest people. So this man tells me, I'm like, this weekend, kids are going back to school. Says, you know, come. You guys are in
Not a promotional term.
what?
Oh no.
No, Robert. Even in classes must continue. This is not a promotional term.
But you
Robert,
see-
go back to slash and.
But you see, that parent forgot specifically about one thing. You know how now they are going to be monitoring children's performances all the way because, you know, there was a change in the curriculum, the O-level curriculum. So they will be monitoring the child's performance from senior 1 all the way to senior 4, even when you change schools. So that is why actually NIRA is going around and making sure it gives out the national identification numbers. So as a parent, if you're leaving out your child, and you're not really so bad
Not
at
on pressure to start first
Yeah,
time.
my
They can
friend,
start
you're
after
really
2 weeks. They can start after 3. But also that thing, I pray and hope it really works. You know, one time His Excellency, we were at Kololo ceremonial grounds, and I think it was either NRM nomination. He said it's bad to be everywhere yet nowhere. You people, we are still struggling with the lower new secondary curriculum. As a country, let's face facts. We are struggling. Even it wasn't examined. Now we are again coming for continuous assessment, registering. I pray and hope.
By the
Some of
way,
these-
as we
yes.
talk about as a country and probably this can be different, can we get to talk about CAA banning taking photos at the aircraft at the airport? What
Mollen.
is that? What do you make of that?
Mollen.
And I want to get your sentiments
I'm
about it.
going to say this in a very short sentence, and Felix will help me translate it in English. Tebakyaswala baswaza buswaza. I rest my case.
Over to you, Felix.
Do you want it directly translated? No, the point has been gotten, I believe. But, you know, for people who have been blessed to travel, you know that one of the places that people take most photos are these such places like international airports.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was against nationals or even international people in transit. Like,
it's a general thing because you find a poster, so that means that you're not allowed to take pictures.
But I think it's for a short time as they try to fix all these things. However, I gave it time to think about it again and again and again, and I tried to probably because
it is undefendable, brother.
I'm trying, but like I was thinking maybe they're doing this as they try to clear all this clutter that has been going on and what. However, I think in response to the public outcry, the CAA should put up a desk, a public relations desk at the airport where people can have such complaints in instant time.
Yeah.
You get the point. If they're facing a challenge, like at the entrance somewhere outside before people check in or what, like there should be that desk to assist with PR. How do you relate? Because this is directly a business. You must cater for how you relate with your clientele.
But if you've been to these big airports, they would have on departure, they have like 3 information desks. About 3, just a few meters, and you're on another information desk. In case you find this, you know, there are a lot of clients on this desk. So in Entebbe, I think we have 1 information desk. At departure, you don't know, which is why people are even getting frauded. You don't know what is going on. There is an information desk right in there. But by the time you ask, where do I go? Now imagine the story of that lady who had to give out her boarding pass because a certain gentleman told her, you know what, I'll take the boarding pass for you. Like the moment you have your boarding pass, you're not supposed to be giving it to anyone unless you're going to board or unless they ask and they're checking you right there. But you're giving it to someone to go away with it to do what? There are things that information desk can provide, and we avoid all this. I don't think telling people to stop recording or taking pictures is going to solve the problem. They just need to offer more services so that people are aware.
I'm still asking myself.
Yes.
You know anyone who did public relations? And I'm not saying that people there, and I don't know if they are qualified people in journalism and if they qualified in PR. There's what we call moments and reactions. There is no way at such a time, if you're heading the publicity office, that you can do such a thing. Because, you know, we look at public perception. How is the public going to look at something that they have been used to redeem themselves from the theft as a tool they have used, and you come out in the heat of the moment and say, we are stopping this? You know, it's more like shooting yourself in the feet.
And you know, according to the CAA publicist, that is Mr. Luja Vianney, he actually says he couldn't explain, when he was asked, he couldn't explain on how they came up with a decision like that. But one of the reasons he gave, he says, you see, there are some things you are permitted to take pictures of, even some processes, for example, you know, flying aircraft or something like that. But some of the processes, in the immigration processes specifically, you're not permitted to take pictures. And he says you shouldn't be surprised by this new move, because in other airports, exactly, that's my issue. Why would that be? Is this a reactionary act?
And why just enter international airport? Well, because other airports, it's okay to do that. Yes. I've been to Charles de Gaulle, one of the biggest airports in the world, and you can take pictures anywhere, you can take videos anywhere. So what is different about it?
Are they copying American embassy where they tell you embassies? Because that is explainable.
No, an embassy is an installation.
Yes,
that
why shouldn't take
because these places have
but
been
what is
attacked
at the
many
airport?
times by terrorists and what. But
it's wrong timing. Ruja, even if that was right, it is wrong timing. Ruja, let's not defend the undefendable. Let's be honest. Ugandans were being stolen, fleeced. It is this gadget, Ruja, that helped them redeem themselves. Therefore, at such a time,
no.
You know, we are Ugandans, people. We are Ugandans, and this airport, foreigners read whatever is happening. A cousin or someone calls you in the USA and says, "Robert, what is this? You are general," and some of them you can't explain. So I don't think. No, if that is okay, it was wrong timing then.
No, but let me just say this. You see, these are some of the the evidences that we face as being Ugandans, that we're dealing with a bigger problem as a country, a bigger problem. Unfortunately, many people have been curtailed from having discussions about this CAA and the airport thing. People have been here threatened and what. One of the audios, we don't know how true it is, against one blogger when they was asked. And so there are many mixed feelings. So there are discussions we may not go there because, well, depending on how many people have interest in all this. But
To catch thieves,
but this is a sign that probably the CAA is condoning than dealing with the problem. Because if you're good intended to deal with this hullabaloo and foolery at the airport, why do you close people out? I think this was a good thing. Actually, this moves for us to concede, or for them to concede that they knew what was going on. You know, I remember I saw when this what just happened, there's one of the videos I saw was very heartbreaking. I don't know, I didn't get the names of the gentleman, and I think they made a press conference trying to do some PR. Now this guy comes on air and starts, we are sorry about this, and then he makes a statement and he says, I mean, it is bad, but I mean, we are also people, they are also people. And I'm like,
Whoa.
Such a negligent
You don't
statement.
say
and
that.
then he makes it look like we are not any better like that.
They're from the society.
You should be better. That's
Like-
why you're in that position.
Now, with that kind of attitude, this is why you see such kind of things. I don't know many people who work with CAA. I'm not very interested anyway. I don't even care what they do, because as I told you, one of the biggest challenges we suffer with as a country is this. You find that such institutions will be full of relatives, jaja, koja. So it's a clan thing, but so they'll deal with their problems.
But
Photos or no photos, we are
authority, they need to do better, and I think this is what you're talking about.
that
Instead of
is-
closing people out, why not you go to them? Because you're realizing
Well-
that people are making these mistakes because they're not aware of the entire process. But instead of them creating more centers to give information or more information desks, you're again just telling people don't do this.
And then you will see them
They should now be
coming
at
to
the doorstep
parliament.
telling people, okay, once you get in, this is
need-
where you go, this is where you go.
Yeah, we
Do
need a
not
budget
allow
increase.
anyone to get in your way. This is something that they should be passing on,
You're going to-
telling
yes.
passengers to be aware of fraud, instead of putting a post that says, please be aware of fraudsters, or be aware of things like this, or please go to this desk immediately after you enter. You put such a signpost.
No, but
At the end of
also-
the day,
You should be
if they're
giving
going to
information.
close the public
post
out,
is
they
not
should
legal,
do better.
it will be disregarded.
They
They have to find the legality
Well, I can
behind it.
assure you that there will be a Ugandan who will still capture, because now they've raised the suspicions.
Yeah.
So now we're wondering, why are you doing this? This
What
is
do they
just the
have to
worst
hide?
You
timing.
can't cut the rope
So
we
trust
used
me,
to
there is a
climb and
Ugandan
redeem
who will do
ourselves.
that. Well,
You know Ugandans, because even the videos they quote, they didn't know that they were being caught. So, like, you imagine someone, like, none of them knew that.
That's
they
what I'm
actually being
saying.
caught. So, this is going to happen anyway.
that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
you
If
better
they're going
work
to
with
close the
Ugandans
public
than
out,
just-
they better address their, operational challenges,
Yeah, but-
because they will be exposed again, and this time it really won't be nice. Well, looking at the local stories, the international stories, Robert, what do you have for us this morning?
Very interesting still. Let me But let me begin with education anyway, where the cutoff points for students entering Senior 1 have been raised in some schools, while others remain constant as they were during last year's selection and placement exercise. While officiating at the opening of the 2023 Senior 1 selection and placement exercise at Lugogo, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education and Sports, Kate Lamoro, urged teachers of schools where the learners are being placed that have completed primary education to ensure their circulars to secondary schools bear the identification numbers of the Education Information Management System.
Members of Parliament have rejected a report from the Committee of Education on the motion of urging government of urging government to address the exorbitant and fees charged by government grant-aided schools. The MPs rejected the report on grounds that its findings were not based on national and nationwide coverage to address the issues on national grounds. In February 2022, Toro Women Member Representative Sarah Alpendi tabled the motion in the House requesting government to take action on all government grant-aided schools over exorbitant charges.
Moving on, we move to the NSSF saga, where the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, has reiterated her position on the 6 billion shillings saga at the National Social Security Fund, saying the request was made in the spirit of the law. Minister Amongi said due to the growth of the working population, the strategies she produced was to ensure better services. This comes at a time when both the Minister for Finance, Matia Kasaija, and the Board of Directors, National Social Security Fund, deemed Minister Amongi's request irregular and out of order.
Now, the Cabinet has noted that Tarehe Sita celebrations shall be conducted in Mbarara City Kacheka Stadium. The Army continues to extend social and health services in Greater Mbarara until Sunday this week. Now, the All Marion reports that the event set for Mbarara to remember the contribution of FRONASA in the 5th year protracted struggle. This will be mainly to celebrate the contribution of the Anti-Amin Front for Nation Salvation towards the liberation of Uganda. Several activities are being conducted by the UPDF to mark the Tarehe Sita in the district of Isingiro, Ibanda, Rwampara, Ruhurura, Mbarara and Kazo.
Now, looking at some of the international stories, Vladimir Putin has compared Russia's invasion of Ukraine to the fight against Nazi Germany in a speech to mark the 80th anniversary of the conclusion of the Battle of Stalingrad. Now, citing Germany's decision to send tanks to Ukraine, the Russian president said history was repeating itself. Speaking in Volgograd, the modern name for Stalingrad, Mr. Putin hinted that he could seek to move beyond conventional weapons. And the suspected Chinese spy balloon has been flying over the United States for a few days, and senior U.S. officials have advised President Joe Biden against shooting it down for fear the debris could pose a safety threat. China and the United States, the world's two largest economies, have experienced tensions of late, clashing over Taiwan and China's human rights record and its military activity in the South China Sea. Washington has been tracking the balloon since it entered U.S. airspace a couple of days ago, including by observing it with manned U.S. military aircraft. Officials declined to say how high the balloon was flying, but acknowledged it was operating above civilian air traffic and below outer space.
The Pope and the Archbishop on a historical peace mission to South Sudan. There has never been a visit like it before, and it has been years in the planning. A Pope and Archbishop of Canterbury make a foreign trip together for the first time in history, joined by the most senior figures in the Church of Scotland. There was a historical visit after centuries of division. Leaders of the three different parts of church are coming together in an unprecedented way, says the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. Their mission is to bring hope and to encourage leaders to find a lasting peace in South Sudan. And the trip comes at a time when the country is suffering severe political instability, its people facing crushing poverty, and many observers are viewing the outlook as bleak. The youngest nation of the world has been ravaged by a bloody civil war since its leaders disagreed over control of the oil-rich country in 2013, just 2 years after its independence from Sudan. And in climate news, Dubai Cares, a civil society organization formerly associated with the United Nations Department of Global Communication, UNDGC, yesterday convened its high-level Rewind Summit strategic partners, meeting to set a united vision for COP28's education outcomes. The meeting comes 2 weeks after UAE-based global philanthropic organization was announced as the exclusive education partner for COP28 to host the second edition of Rewind Summits and represents another major step in its journey towards advocating for the role of education as a powerful enabler for climate action. During the meeting, Dubai Cares turned its logo green as a powerful message to the world about the crucial role that education plays in achieving climate ambitions. Dubai Cares will adapt the green logo until the end of COP28 to raise awareness, mobilize commitments, and catalyze action for the integration of education into climate.
We're looking at also some stories coming in from our dailies. The new vision entry points for Senior 1 and they're giving you a number of schools and their respective cutoff points according to the gender, boys and girls. And in the picture over there, you can see the head teachers looking at lists of pupils and their scores during the Senior 1 selection exercise at Uganda Manufacturers Association in Lugogo. This was in Kampala yesterday. And our cover bands reaping where they did not show? Well, there is that entertainment pullout for you where you'll get more on that story. And looking at the NSSF probe, workers house a title missing. Yikes. Green schools teachers excited about the project. And also looking at skills your child must acquire from their schools. Maybe you need to go through this list and see where your child is raging at as we speak right now. We do have the Daily Monitor as well, Felix. What?
On the Daily Monitor, we'll be looking at basically top schools relax cut-off points for S1s, and we'll also be looking at will Kenzo bring our first Grammy Award?
Yes, he will.
Confidence.
I like that. I like God bless you for that, Philo. Well, of course, also much more stories in the papers where we see that is Kasaija Downs disowns Amongi on shilling 6 billion pay claim. Monitor. Government to increase pay for LCs. Majezi comes out, there's a Minister of Local Government, and of course they give you the various opportunities in the papers. But one of the biggest stories for you to look out for is to go read about this school pullout, where they tell you more about this Grammy and chances at it. Of course, that's quite a beautiful story where they do bring out the road. 2015 we saw a BET, 2023 do we see a Grammy? Yeah. Mama Boy is down in LA having some good time. On Sunday will be the night when...
Yes, we're not sleeping on Sunday or Monday for that matter.
Well, anyway, let's pray it's a good one.
Yeah. Looking at some of the sports stories, Morocco in mega soccer projects. Listen, guys, this is a story you just need to look out for and look at what these Moroccans are doing. Now, I don't want to compare it to what's happening at home, but... All right. We are going for a break. When we get back, we still have more discussions that we'll be having amongst ourselves. But of course, it would be such an honor to have you be part of them. And when we get back, I will be letting you know what are we going to be talking about and how you can share your opinions. Give us your 2 cents. I mean, it is why we are here to have these conversations with you as well. Good morning. We'll return shortly after this break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Omara, Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Get away with MTN Momo Advance.
Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it. The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Monga and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP. You yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Live from Now Avenue in UBC Studios. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Friday, 3rd of February, the year 2023. Good morning, Friday special. Of course, we are here. And like every Friday, I always look forward to having these discussions because clearly they will tell you how people think and, you know, how we can actually come to a middle ground or a focal point when it comes to answering some of these hard questions in our societies, whether family, whether education, whether entertainment on the social spectrum. All of it, we discuss everything here on Friday. We, being myself, Nkunda, Mollen, and Felix. Well, this morning, our discussion, it's definitely relating to finances in a home. Now, there are very many things that happen in a home. We have children, we have parents, and all of these things clearly require some sort of financial help or financial aid coming in again from parents or whoever is in the family. But as a family, do you have a financial structure? Do you have a way you manage your finances? That is what I would love to hear from you this morning. So our discussion is going to be based on financial management in homes, especially in the hard times, the hard economic times. The economy hasn't been doing quite well. We've really come across very many hindrances. We had COVID-19, then we had Ebola, and again, we're looking at all the inflation rates right now, food prices going high. This has been happening for quite a while. And amongst the ugly conversations I always encourage people to have, especially when it comes to family or even in relationships, is money. So how do you manage finances amidst hard economic times? Well, do let us know. Get onto our socials. How best to manage a family finances amidst hard economic times? How do you achieve that? The hashtag is UBCGMU. WhatsApp number 0709 602 592. Well, Robert, here, maybe I should just start from you. When it comes to managing finances in a home, do you believe that it's very key, and why?
Very, very important. Actually, it creates peace in a home, though it also goes at the level of maturity of this relationship. You know, relationships have phases. There's the dating where there's sometimes so much lie, little truth in that, so much pleasing, because like someone is campaigning. Then there is when you get into the real bit of the relationship. Now people are staying together, year 1 is done, year 2, reality comes in year 3. Then now that's when, if you are using to eating out every day, the man now still begins to feel the pain. If you're still party animal, the wife now realizes that. So that is usually a 3rd year you sit. Now maybe even a child has come in, so you have to excuse me, properly draft a way forward. Now, key in managing finances in a home is transparency and openness, because these create trust. Let me tell you, one of the things people hardly trust others with is money. You'll find a young girl can trust a man with their body, but they can't trust them with their money. So money, you need to build that trust first by being open and transparent, that someone will feel that they can jointly do something with you when it comes to finances. Otherwise, if you're not transparent, if you're not honesty, and if there is no trust in this relationship, then you can't have a financial plan as a couple. It can't be there.
And yet we actually need it.
Yes.
Well.
So, those are that is the foundation. Now, after you've laid this foundation of trust, out of honesty, out of being realistic, then you come out with a plan of how you're going to manage your finances. You would say, you earn this, I earn that. Yes, let's come with a common pool that doesn't deprive each of us of their privacy to their finances, but for the purpose of prospering, because marriage or relationship is about doing life together. So if you're going to do life together, that means you must plan. Say, children are going back to school. That means even sometimes, maybe you agreed on the schools where you're going to take your children. So some parents will tell you, for us we have a pool where you contribute. I earn this, I put that, she earns that, she puts that. So when school fees comes, yes, it may be my sole purpose as a man to educate my children, but then we can say, well, how much do you have in this pool? Can we remove this? Sometimes maybe building, buying land, constructing a house, or even purchasing a car. So you work together for a common good, and each one has to contribute. However, there are also families where it is maybe only the man who is working. So there, the wife or that family could come up still with how do you help in, because if you don't have a proper way of managing finances, that is where you see insecurity in the home. The wife thinks you earn so much because they see you on TV every morning, or because you're a member of parliament, or because you're working at Civil Aviation Authority.
Probably she knows you actually earn so much.
So maybe, but if there's this respect and she can know that this is what we have, this is our plan, we are going to spend. Even when you want to be frugal, she can understand. You know, she can understand that yes, we are passing through a trying moment, but we have this amount in our pool. So where we used to maybe plate hair of 150, yes, still even a woman with 100 can look good.
Let's cut off the hair. Take 100. If you are going through hard times, why do you just put off that the budget has already made?
Felix, I'm going to chase you off this set.
Yes, Robert. So, no, you begin to cut a coat according to your cloth.
Yes.
And I guarantee you that marriage is going to be very smooth.
Yes.
The pressures, the situations you can't explain, they're explainable.
Giving Robert a uniform.
It is very explainable.
Well, Mollen, I saw Mollen nodding her head. In this, I don't know, in disagreement. I don't know whether it was in disagreement with what Robert was saying or the idea.
No.
But yes,
let me make this clear.
Yes.
The disagreement is towards Felix.
Okay.
Making such a comment is just it just goes to show how much information we need to give Felix.
Which comment in particular?
About the hair. Like, just because you're cutting expenses, you cannot ask them to just trim off their hair.
The glory of a woman is her hair, even in the back.
What?
Actually, short hair is expensive.
He's quoting the Bible. It is there.
The glory of a
But
woman.
Anyway.
So among things you never talk about is her hair.
That glory.
Yeah,
yes,
but anyway, I would want to think of financial management as a team effort, really. And when we're talking about a family, it's not just the father, it's just the mother. You have the kids involved at that. So how you manage your finances, I would want to put it into 3 aspects. First of all, your finances would be about your daily expenses. So you have to consider your daily expenses and your monthly expenses. Then you look at the expected bills and the unexpected bills. What bills do you have within a family? And then you look at the saving for the future. That's where you're now contributing towards something or saving your money towards something. And I think that is where people get it wrong, thinking that only one person can do that or we can do it individually. As a family, you might have to consider a place where you have to save as a family. And this is where communication comes in. It is key. We've seen families where a woman goes and she's using off some money, and probably the man will get a message before she withdraws the money, and the person cannot okay the transaction because they were not told about this particular expense. So I think it is important to also look at how much you are communicating about these things. And also some other thing is, as a family, you have to identify your financial goals. While you have all the monies that are coming through, what are your goals? What are you doing at a moment? For example, if you're into real estate, you're probably you're having a construction. So what is that you want to move forward with, or expanding your business? Once you identify that, then you now see how to achieve that target. That is where the budget thing comes in. Sit down and make sure you have a budget towards certain activities that you have agreed you're going to do. Yes, you want to expand your business, but the monies that you have, for example, you talk about people and salaries at the end of the month, or people who get monies daily. How much are you contributing towards that? Because at the same time, you still have expenses, you still have the bills coming in. So it's important for you to draw a budget. And that's how you can manage at least, especially the monthly expenses. You know that the moment the monthly money comes in, I'm paying off the bills, but also part of this money is going to the project that we are working on. And this is something you've communicated very well as a family. Then another thing you would want to look at is how now do you allocate this money? Because it is one thing doing a budget and another thing actually following through with it. And you find that you're now saying, okay, 400 per month, when I get the monthly money, 400 is going towards expanding the business, and maybe 200 is going towards this bill, then another 200 is going towards the future saving. Like I said, you also have that kind of thing. But then when it comes, you're like, but now there is this dress I wanted to buy, or there's this coat, there's this party I have to go to, I'll need a new suit. So you're going off what you budgeted for. So I think that is where people mess up, and you find that the money, when you're budgeting, you saw it being enough, but by the time you get it, you're unable to do it because you're not allocating this particular kind of money. Then also, I think you would want to look at establishing a bill-paying system. So for example, in a home, you hear stories like the woman pays the water bill and the electricity bill, then the man pays certain kind of bill. So you don't have a clear system if you don't identify certain things. Because I would sit back and be like, oh no, Felix will pay the electricity bill. And then he will also be saying, no, she will pay the electricity bill. Before you know it, your bills are accumulating, all in the name of, no, by next month we'll probably clear the whole thing next month. Even water bills are usually the smallest, but you could have a bill go from 100 to 200 to 300 just because you're holding it off. Yeah, no, you don't have a clear system of paying it. You're counting on people, and then they're also counting on you. So you have to establish who is doing that. And I think also there's a thing as controlling the expenses. Like say people over showering. There is a way. You communicate. You could choose to communicate how you're probably using water at home, because you at the same time you have kids who think mommy will pay the bills, daddy will pay the bills.
Like people, you see someone washing a glass. Like one time, I look at this house help. Man, she almost spent like a full jerrycan on a glass. I'm like,
yeah.
And the woman is there just enjoying, like,
yeah. It gets to you.
The showering, I had ample food.
I understand where Felix is coming from. And Mollen with Mollen, whatever.
And also, I think it does make sense, because there are people who actually spend some of these, use anyhowly.
They're very
because there
reckless.
is money for it. So that is also something to look at if you're trying to manage your finances. And then another thing, Philomena, that people don't do a lot is checking their balances, checking your bank statements, checking how much money is coming in on a daily. People would have businesses where, for example, you have daily using codes or mobile money codes, and your money is coming through, but you never really check to see how much is getting in. You need to establish a financial system where all the money that comes in on a daily or even monthly, you are aware.
If you have a family business.
Yeah, you are aware of which money is in the account. The moment you know that, in your mind you will know which expenses to go for. Because yes, you could hold off bills. Sometimes it's inevitable to hold off bills. But the moment you know that I have this particular money, then you make a decision on which one to go for first. Is this money going to go to clear this bill so they don't even accumulate? Or should I now move it towards what I'd allocated it for? So I think it's important to look out for that. And also you do have smart kids recently. I have a friend who was telling me his kid is able to hack into his account. I don't know whether because they guessed their password, probably even uses the name as the password, is able to hack into the account and get money off the account. And he noticed after 6 months. That means this child was using the money and the dad was not aware. So sometimes you need to be aware of that. You know, it could get to you, and as a family you talk about it.
Okay.
You probably have it in that system.
Felix, I really love the fact that Robert and Mollen, actually even I, concur with the fact that budgeting is very key, because, you know, having a financially stable household is quite necessary, and it affects very many other things. But also the practicability of this whole budgeting thing. I mean, we know it's a key component, but it's not something that we easily do. What really fails us from following through with the budgets? And also, maybe this whole somebody would come in and say, but it also depends on who is being the key financial manager in a home. And there is a whole notion that women are actually better financial managers in these homes.
There's a whole what?
It's a notion,
From
but it's
where?
also true.
But out of experience, I can assure you.
Who's experience?
Mollen is a good financial manager.
my own finances.
There are some women who are actually really good at it. There are others that acknowledge the fact that, you know what, for me, finances, this is not my forte.
So what
No,
is there?
but you see now, Robert, you cannot come in with that argument, because what's that?
He already did, so.
What's that?
Disregard.
Anyway, Felix, like I was saying, why is it so hard for us to get onto the budget thing? I mean, what's the practicability of this whole budget as a key component in maintaining a stable financial system in a home?
Yeah, well, and I was listening to Comrade Bob and Comrade Mollen earlier.
I sense negative energy close to me. I'm sensing negative energy.
And I was sitting here thinking, before you even have all those funny discussions about finances and what, the very first thing to understand that all of those can't be in place when there is no money. Like the beginning point of this whole discussion about money is to first of all establish that family members must do some work. And that's a reality that people don't want to get into discussion with. Like you asked about the budget. But budgets are an existence of availability of resources, because you use those resources to make the budget, or you base on that anticipated resource to make a budget. Now, in Africa, not even different, in Uganda, we have a culture and mentality of this thing called breadwinners. It is believed that in some sort of ideal world or what, nevertheless not downplaying the fact that actually it is also biblical, that the roles of every gender were cut out and culture just endorsed it. That's why it is not until recent times you see that women are trying to do some work. But earlier on, it was even a shock to see a woman do some particular type of work. Like, for example, sitting on set here, the four of us with ladies. Like, some of these things were not an appreciation of modern day time. When you talk about family, one of the biggest challenges and finances you must deal with is the fact that some people don't think they have the need to work. And mostly, our dear sisters. I'm being honest. No.
I don't know of a woman who knows for sure that they don't have to work.
And what's
These are
more,
just few individuals.
this culture is coming back. It used to be there in the old 80s and 70s.
It's coming back, brother.
No.
Yes.
Today,
Yes.
these girls you see will proudly say, like, there's some friends of mine, there's these girls, and they are here, I need a, why do you think, how do you think the word sugar daddy came in? How do you think some of these words have come up?
Now there's the word sponsor, sir.
You see, now, we're supposed to first deal with that challenge. If you're talking about family union, financial, dealing with financial challenges as a family, you must address the fact that we must have money coming in for us to even start discussing because, and the reason why I said something and Mollen said I sense negative what about the hair. I'll tell you why. We get into a relationship, and Robert touched it a bit in his inceptional statements. He touched the fact that when we meet the people we want to spend life with, what discussions do we have? And that's where it starts. What discussion do we have? With due respect to the people who hang out in the places I may mention in my discussion, and I do, again, you would pardon me, but how you meet your partner says a lot on how you will manage finances. Let's not even be shy to mention. Let's not try to sugarcoat all these things. Like when you come, you bring, we put together, you buy, we eat, we sleep. No, it's not as rosy as we're making it sound. When they come, the children, then the hair. No. At the beginning of your relationship, what's the discussion you're having about finances? There's one time I remember I was having a very hard conversation. Those days when I was still
hunting.
Yes. I remember one of my elders, my granny told me, ask all the questions. Because you will be shocked you're taking someone, and for him he used to make fun. He used to say, you ask this woman, are you friends with water? You don't have to say you love bathing. You can say, are you friends with water?
I like swimming.
So all those questions, yeah. Do you have phobia for water? Like, what discussions do we have with the people we intend to be our partners in terms of finances? There are women who will tell you, nze waffe nakulaba ngamba omukazi takola. And she will tell you, I never saw my mom work. Because probably ye mwana wa mwami, or they are from a good, yes. Or you get the point. Now you don't bring that kind of person and you start telling them that when I pay water, you pay electricity, katakina sasura from what? So you get, like, it is the beginning of dealing with finances is when having. But
I mean, we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
because
it's part of the thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's the whole conversation.
For me, amidst all these rosy things that you do this, they do, this discussion is critical when you meet someone. There are women, and I'm sorry, I say this with due respect, I'm going to come to the men, who are not happy spending their money on their families. And they are open to it. That's why, no. And there are very many, by the way. That's how this word called Sente Kazi came in. What the hell is that? Okay, a Kazi is for the woman, and the Saja is for the all of us.
It's an emergency fund.
Which emergency? The emergency is the school fees. What do we deal with this emergency?
Yeah,
you get the point.
Yes.
Like, that's how these words come in. And women today, when they're going in marriages, this is what the singers tell you. They tell them. They are training them to be uncooperative financially, saying, that kind of. So when you're having these financial discussions, these are things you do want to talk about. These are the realities. Now, when you get in a position, like, have you heard this saying, if you want to see that a woman has money, like, put a situation like, and men do these things. Omusajja goes and gets police people, they plot, they come to arrest him from home. You'll be shocked. A woman will bring bundles.
Felix, during lockdown, there's a scenario where I was part of. This man had no job, but the wife had some money in a box somewhere. So the man is jobless, he stresses himself. As I think he was searching around the house, he landed on some serious money, on a bank inside the house. So he went, brought fish today, tomorrow chicken. So they're eating, and the wife is like, but this guy, we are in lockdown.
Where is he getting your money?
He's not working.
He's withdrawing.
He was sitting home and never had to eat badly. So the woman, I think, out of tears, and said, but where did this? Hold on. This man wakes up in the morning, comes back with chicken, then he buys. Let me first. Where is he getting the money? By the time she said, let me check, nothing was left. So it was drama at the LC.
And you see, now
Honestly, but what
relating
did you
to what
want me
Robert
to
is
do?
saying, I can tell you, like when you're talking about, now we're dealing with, let's hit reality. Let me give you another scenario, guys. You have a man who's making the money. As I've told you, because of our cultural challenges, most of the women have not felt compelled to be very competitive in the financial world. Some women get jobs just not to stay at home. And this is a mentality that we must deal with. Now, a man goes and breaks his back. He brings his money. And you think he's going to give you the same liberty you want to make decisions on that money. And this is, again, a psychological thing, a reality thing. Like, when the man brings that money, let's imagine he brings about 5 million in the house. Don't think you're going to start giving directions because he's breaking his back. It is a natural thing, and I'm not saying it's a man thing. Like, you will want to control what you bring in. Now, you can't tell a man, before you send your mother some money for whatever what, say, Angela Zangizida. You love this woman with due respect. She's your wife, she's your better half, she's all these beautiful things. But because in your mind you know that, because at the end of the day, the authority comes from where? The people, the one who brings. That's where the authority. And let me tell you another simple story.
So why is it that like people really take it, and I love the fact that you say authority comes in from the people who are bringing it. So why is it a big issue when the women...
No, and I want to give you that same example.
Yeah, why is it an issue that when a woman probably is bringing in the bigger percentage of income and
that's what I'm coming to, Philo. Let me give you another example in relation to what you just brought in. This is the biggest challenge. And this is why I'm telling all men out there. There are a number of very lousy men also. When you're a man, these are the things I told you. Get the people who fall in your bracket, for starters. In terms of relationships, and this is the reality, the painful reality. Oriawo, you are doing some uncertain job. Let me use that word because that's the biggest challenge. Today you've got 1 million, tomorrow you've got 500, next month you've not got. Now, you see this beautiful girl, you found up driving a very nice car, probably she bought it herself or the parents, we don't care.
Or other sources.
Or whichever, yeah. But you found her with a stable life and some good earning. Now, because you think that you're going to go into her life as a parasite, and this is what most men have in mind. We have men who want to be, I think call it kukula.
Yeah.
They want to get a safe landing. Well now, you go in that relationship, in your mind, foolishly thinking things are going to be this. You're going to run the same way as the man. You can't. You're going in as a woman. Because of the uncertainty of your earnings, this woman has to wake up probably at 4. The Philomenas here wake up at 4 a.m. They may get back home at about 8. You, because of year, you're going to end up washing plates, or kumesigiri, or salobu tunguru, or tokose mere. Now, when this man, now the roles have changed. Before you know, if in fact there was a way you would get pregnant, they would, because you see, and this is the painful reality. Our roles, financial roles in the family are cut out depending on how much we are able to win. That's why you see we break our backs to stay in our positions in our families as men. We break our backs because, and that's what keeps us going, because we have a promise to meet. Like you'll do like 5 jobs, not because you're the best or you're the hero, but you run left, right, center because you have to keep that place. When you go any slightly lower than that promise, trust me, the obligations will change. And that's the bitter reality of life. Now, because you're not going to tell a woman she's bringing in her 5 million, you're bringing in your 500,000. Baby, don't be stupid. Like, you can't think anyone is going to carry your load. You people, honestly speaking, there is no man and woman who can consistently be recurring there, because everyone goes through some sort of pain wherever they get the money. Now, you don't think they are going to embrace your not well-placed pain in their own pain. In as much as you love each other, it doesn't mean you don't love each other. One of the ways we show love to our partners is financially being there for them. But that can't be a constant.
And Felix, in a second.
I do have some feedback coming in from Alikus Stephen here from Arua saying, thanks for the beautiful program. Sometimes women are not cooperative in the family. They leave all the burden on the men. What they know is men are there to do everything. And I do have this viewer didn't put their name, but they're saying, thank you, Felix. You've spoken quite well on that family finances issue. You've hit it right on the head. The topic should start from dating days. And I do have another viewer, Chris in Cherika, saying a family can manage finances by preparing a budget within which to operate. I guess looking at what you're both bringing in. Robert, you're saying something.
Well, I want to just supplement on what Felix said about these young brothers of today, because I'm getting disappointed every day by our gender. I'm seeing a number of young boys today targeting women that have, and they enjoy this comfortable life, and some are socialists, you know. But I want to tell them, love will be there, but there are factors that may reduce that love. A man can feed a woman for 5 years. Felix can testify to that. But let a woman feed you for just a month. You'll feel the pinch and pain. That is when they will tell you, they may even tell you to swankula. I'm telling you. So, you know, and you know, Robert, no, what Robert is saying is something, and painfully we are on set with our sisters. And we say this with painful reality. When the tables change, and that's why I use this word again. We break our backs every morning to never let the situation change. I have seen men let me tell you a story. I met a pilot in Europe who was driving a taxi. You can imagine from being a pilot, and when lockdown came and COVID, the guy went to drive a taxi. But the only thing he was doing that for was not himself, because he had to stay in a position of being the head of a home. One of the biggest problems, guys, we are facing today as we talk about families, we have a sect of men in this country who don't yearn to be better, who don't want to work. Let me just put it that way. We have a big sect of men, and it's growing day by day, because now we are having young families. We know, and these are things that we are asking the religious and cultural leaders to intervene. With these weddings you see every day, one of the biggest reasons of divorces today is failure to manage finances.
That's true.
I have had personally different encounters with breakups of marriages, and the most challenge is finances. This guy you meet, you see, as Robert said, all is rosy.
Until
when you see, because even the discussions you have are also very lousy. You meet a girl. Now what the hell is even? What's the use of like you know you're quoting each other or matama?
That's why we have sentences like omavu tayagalika. This is the reality of it, by the way. For example, I'll give myself as an example. I have no business dealing with a lazy man. If I am heading the
but how do you tell that?
It means
how
that
do you
you're
tell
going to slow me down.
How do you tell that? In
you can't tell that. And this is what
it all goes wrong at courtship.
That is what one of our viewers is also talking about. These are things you identify at the very start of a relationship. And people, when I talk about these things, you say, I need a
when someone is complimenting the wrong thing.
No, these are things that you look at in a person. You're going to date a Chirabo. But what do you see in Chirabo? Do they have the same ambitions as you? You are a strong person, competitive in this world. You have certain things you want to achieve. But this is a man you found very comfortable with his 1 million job. And they're okay, like, no, I have a job. I get paid 1 million a month. You're like, come on. And you also progress that relationship. Then whatever happens after that is on you.
No, but
it's on you. Because there are things that you have to identify at the start of a relationship. And allow me say this, Philomena, because we also talked about a certain section of ladies, and I think that's what people are picking on. You have the women that are comfortable in a life of mkazi taina kola. But let's talk about the women who are actually working.
Yes.
The women who are actually entrepreneurs, and they have their businesses, and they are going out there.
Because
Or
I
they
was
are
about
those
to
that are
ask these
going to
gentlemen,
work.
do they prefer their wives working or not?
Begin with Felix.
But before that, we'll get into the
Obviously,
question. How
How
best is it to manage family finances amidst hard economic times? How best can you manage family finances amidst hard economic times? So the gentlemen were expressing their issues, about money. And Robert, okay, Felix, would you rather have your wife work, or you want your wife to be a stay-home mom?
Well, it's a discussion we must have. For me, as I've told you, it's a discussion we have.
But what do you prefer?
What would be your preference?
Because I don't think anyone wants to answer
Yeah,
that.
if your wife is working, you want her to be accountable for the time she's spending at work. That is in terms of finances. But again, if you're talking about having control
and privileges, and that discussion cannot be just a yes or no, because it must be backed with reason. Like, there's a point where a woman must work. For example, the first 5 to 6 years of her career, because within that time, both of you as a man, like for some of us who have not had godfathers, who have not what, there are some people who have had godfathers and at their inception from university, they are billionaires. But some of us who have kugata kamu, you will need support from your partner in the first 5. Now, this is my thought and ideology that when you get to having a family that has about 3 or 4 kids, the wife, at that point, her role will change to being, her work will be now her family. Because that's my thought, that we can have you work for about 5 to 6 years for your career, because you will need to do some career.
But also, Felix,
but when you have a family grow,
yes,
your biggest job then will become your family. Because you have 4 kids, you have a man, you have a home. Who's going to administer that for you to keep it together? Because that's another job. We have seen families break because we are focusing on running other people's businesses.
That's very, very also important and practical. But
Now,
also, we have seen instances where you're looking at a father complaining, we have 4 children, I'm the one paying all the fees for the children, I'm the one looking after the family, I need this woman to help in. Isn't that double standards for men?
No, it's not. No, as I've told you, this is what we are saying, all of us feel.
Yes.
I think the underlying factor here is communication. For all, I think we are agreeing on the fact that there must be thorough communication when it comes to handling finances as a family. Now, the purpose of communication is to address such things, because there will be double standards if you didn't talk about these things. Like I said earlier, there are men who are comfortable not having their women work. I have very many, I'm sorry to say, Muslim friends. For them, they will tell you, the men in the ones in our inbox.
Can we address
my view?
Yes, Robert. Let me hear from Robert Mollen, then we can get into it.
Work, most of the times when you talk about a wife working, people look at going into the offices. But there is so much work that can be done home, and it's income generating. I wouldn't love my wife to be working away from home.
Oh God.
In offices, like Felix said, because for the first, I can leave you develop your career, but when we get children, because I've seen families, I've seen families of doctors, lawyers, but I can create income generating activities at home. We can have a cottage industry at home, we can go into agriculture, urban agriculture at home. We can find many things that can be done at home, and they generate money for her. Because I don't want to lose, because the world is, today we are battling with homosexuality. You know why? Because parents don't have time for their children. So let me, as the head of the home, move in this at home.
So what happens? So what happens? What happens when things are not working out for the
She's working home.
Robert,
people are baking cakes.
Robert, tell these women the truth.
What is the
Every time
truth?
our women leave our homes, we are afraid of the people they meet there. And I'm sorry, this is the fact.
Yeah, it's the reality.
The level of
yes.
work relationships.
The
so level. No.
This
is the truth.
And I think I would want to come in here. I would want to come in here. No, it's not an argument. It's just
may
a
pretend
submission.
over
Yes. No, it's a submission.
Yes.
For me, it's kind of it concerns me in this day and era to hear a man say, I would want my wife to stay at home or do business at home. And at that point, they bring in urban agriculture at home. In this day and era, where women are educated and they have a career to follow, there is no way you're going to ask a woman who has grown her career and a level of degree. No, it's not an attitude.
No way.
But I'm saying, for you to ask her that, you know what, now that you're my wife, I would want you home. And I think it is unfair for men to be thinking that way. And these are the key issues that I want us to address.
Can we also agree? Can we agree to the fact that...
Let me finish this.
Yes, Mollen.
Let me finish this. So, in my submission, I would want to say, you're talking about the whole discussion we have is financial management. We are not saying that if, as a man, you've made a choice to let your woman stay at home, that means you're bringing in all the money. It also doesn't mean that you take her out of the picture of how to manage the finances. Yes. But let's talk about and a section of women who I think at this point are even above 50%, who are actually working. Themselves are working, and they're probably in families where they are allowed to develop their career. We have women who are now in politics, we have women in businesses, we have women who are actually doing great for themselves.
But don't you think you have such a very biased reaction about that?
Men have...
But can we also agree that...
Yes, once again, men have gotten this idea that when a woman is working for some way, they are not taking care of their families. And yet that is not the reality. Women have the capacity to actually go to work and still take care of their families.
Working women are so disrespectful.
That's also another
So you want to have submissive women, you also want to ensure the finances. Is that what you're saying?
Can I have some attention, gentlemen, here? Because I know you will continue interrupting.
Absolutely.
But I want to make this clear. You have women who are mothers and their wives, and they are still CEOs. And this is a reality. You just get the wrong people, and now you're projecting it on everyone else.
Absolutely.
You are projecting it on everyone else.
Now you're getting personal.
No, it's not personal.
By the way, because when you interact with quite a number of men,
this is something that we need to have a discussion about.
We have our viewers watching.
So at the end of the day, what you want is to be in a more leading position to have control. That is what you're trying to fight for. Isn't that what you're saying, Robert?
What I'm simply saying is, and allow me to drive this point home. Okay, in just a few, just give me 2 minutes. Just giving
honestly, you've driven
what I'm trying to say is, let us respect that this is a very neutral world where everyone is accepted to pursue their career. You cannot find a Mollen who is already pursuing her career. She's an aviator, she's doing all these things, she wants to do it, and you're like, okay, now you see, how about you stop working, you stop following your career, and then I think that's when you will be in better position to take care of home. If I have a system, so all we're saying is develop a system as a home. If this woman is very busy, ask her.
No, you don't have to have
down
everything right. You have to have a certain percentage right.
Make sure that the discussion is about how do we find a solution, not I would rather have a woman who is into agriculture or working at home.
What's wrong with agriculture?
Felix, and sometimes they are working.
That's concerning for me.
I'm telling you, some women are busy for nothing. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? The money she makes, he's not contributing anything. Sometimes
now everybody's bringing the real story.
Yes.
You know when Sam was there ice coating.
Some
she comes now
they're having jobs. Mollen, I'll give you an example. There's this woman working a place out, she's getting 500, 600, and someone says we can have a business at home that is getting you a month 5 million. You may not have ideas for these businesses. So we are not saying that you're not working, therefore you've lost your independence
And then how
and earning.
But anyway,
how will they see her hair when she's
at the end of the day, I do believe that I've never bought into the idea of actually people, and this again, I mean, it circles back to what you're saying. Have some of these conversations right at the start, because for a man who is going to tell you, listen, for me, there are men who will come to you outrightly and tell you, listen, for me, I want a housewife. This is what I want. Now, you as a woman, you should be able to know, is this what I subscribe to? Or this doesn't work for me. But but then there are women who will also outrightly tell you, listen, I want to have a family and I also want to pursue my career. Now you as a man, you need to know, you make a decision. Listen, honestly, Felix, because I have seen this happen. You know, it serves you, you know what you want and I know what I want. And right at the start, it's very key. I have seen men, they pursue women who are working hard, or women get men who are really very busy people. But somewhere midway, you're telling them you have to quit your job. I cannot work like this.
At the beginning, you are okay with that.
At the beginning, you are okay with that. So why do you feel the need to change this person? I mean, it's understandable. There are women, by the way, who also prefer to be stay-home moms. Like for me, I am here to look after my children. If the man is working and bringing in the money, whether they want to control it or not, I don't have any bad energy and bad feelings towards that. I am very comfortable being a house mom. But also there are women who are just not comfortable with that at the end of the day. But also we have to understand that there is a section of men who have misused the fact that, you know, because I'm bringing in a lot of money, I will probably be in control. It's very nice for a man to be in control of a home. I would love a man who is in control of a home. But how are you using that control? There are certain men who misuse that control. And this is where the fear of women stems in. Like, but this man, if I don't have my money, how am I going to survive? You get? There are men, there are actually mature men who know how to exercise this control. But then there are those men also. But then there are also women who have misused the fact that I have my own money, you cannot tell me nothing, you cannot do anything to me. That is absolutely wrong. They are also there. But there are also women who actually help their men. So at the end of the day, you just need to know your person.
Let everyone find
your level. Find what works for you.
You want a man who is going to be very supportive.
And we're not saying this is a given 100%. But there should be a middle ground. That's just it. And if you can't find a middle ground, I'm just telling you, walk away. That's it.
Philo,
because you're going to suffer.
What you're saying is very true. And this is what I was saying. It brings me back again to what I was saying. When you ask me outrightly, what do you want? I told you, this must be a discussion.
Yes.
And I think, if I remember, that's what I said, that you must agree on some things. If it was about me, I've told you, I want you to, because you have a career, try your career out. But the point where we have a family that needs an administrator, a maid can administer our family.
How would you stay home and
like tosobola kubango ina bana musanvu, 6 kids, and the maid is in charge of your clothes, in charge of the kids. Like, this is like, what are you doing running around? That's why I told you that is what I would want. Like, if we get to a big family, 4 kids, the family is of about 6 people, 7 people. I think the best administrator at that point would be the wife to take charge of the home. That is my opinion. But of course, as I've told you, it will take about 6 to 7 years to get to that point. But let me say this about what you said and Mollen said. You may want to run away from the fact that it has been cut out, biblically, by practice, traditionally, religiously, that men have a bigger role to play in terms of finances. And that's a given fact.
No, that's actually a fact. We agree to it.
And that's the truth.
We agree to
now,
it.
Where the problem is, like she was saying, Mollen did say something about the things we say to each other, which we have all agreed about. We tend to not give the relevant power to one process in relationships is the courtship. We tend not to give it the power it deserves. We tend to talk about it loosely. Like in this country, I've seen people who meet today, they're sleeping together tomorrow, they're having sex already. In 2 weeks, they are testing for pregnancy. And then the girl's parents will force the man to marry because of the pregnancy. What the hell is that?
Family there
and then that's a family. That's a bogus foundation for a family. You have this guy, the guy calls you at the guy calls you at 6. Hello, baby. Are you awake? He calls you again at 8. He
Have
calls
you
you at
eaten?
10.
Have you had breakfast?
He calls you at... There's this guy is, and you in your head as a woman, is this man working? And for you, go for kubiya love, sugar, kamode, benenge, popcorn. For you focusing on the popcorn names they're calling, but and those are some of the signs of the kind of husband you're going to take. Who calls someone at 10? Everyone is busy fixing life.
But also, Felix, if you call your person popcorn, you have a problem.
Well, of course. What's wrong with popcorn?
Let's not sandwich that. Let's not sandwich that. The love is there. However, it also depends on what discussions you're having.
No, there are things you can get to know that this man
I agree with what Felix is saying. As long as you're not having important conversations.
That's the thing, yeah. Actually, that's the word.
It's not all about Suri.
What conversations are you now you meet a girl.
How can you call someone 7 times a day?
That's the thing.
What are you discussing?
You meet this beautiful girl. Beauty is key. But you're there. Every time you meet a guy, the man is, what is Kuana? In English?
That one.
The man is Kuana, your buttocks. Tell you like every time. Like all the time. That can't be the discussion. You can't be talking about my buttocks. And
well, this conversation could go on and on and on, but I have to really break it short. But also, Felix and Robert, I just want to let you know, if you could have many other reasons and very many other, essential reasons as to why you would love for your wife to stop working. But I hope it should never be about the men.
She can work from
Listen,
home.
let me tell you, have you had women who sleep with Getmen and the Shamba boys?
I want
so that should never be.
That home is the safe.
Listen, it should new be your topmost reason, because let me tell you, as a woman,
I want to support
men will run after her wherever. So if you're going to stop your woman from working from offices.
Sister. Chances,
Robert, we don't want to get into this conversation about the stay-home mothers.
Of certain things. I believe in this.
I think next Friday we'll have a discussion about
people work from home.
Because I'm also concerned about what
housewives
Felix
work and they can earn.
I'm concerned about what Felix brought in, about at a certain level you stop working. Actually, he did make an assumption of 6 to 7 years. And he says at that level, maybe we have 4 kids, you stop. Yeah. So you don't want the PhD one. Okay, not necessarily PhD. But if you have a woman, you already have 4 kids. They're not all toddlers. Some of them have grown. You're able to take care of them. A woman is going, maybe leaves for work at 8, comes back by 4. If she's leaving at 8, the young kids are actually in school. The young kids are actually in school. By the time she comes back, they're also getting back. So where do you find a problem with a working mom, yet actually they're still taking care of the kids? I don't think it should all be cut out and say,
anyway, I do have feedback from a couple of viewers here.
Let's first say
I am closing this discussion. I do have some feedback. It can never reach home. Feedback coming in, and there is a viewer here who's saying, I would rather have my wife work at home. I did not know the reasons why my dad stopped my mom from working, but now I'm grown up and I see the point because of work relationships in the workplace with the so-called bosses. Families where both parents are having jobs honestly are just together for public respect, but the truth inside is they don't share homes and beds and all of that.
What's the name of that guy?
No, I don't think they put a name.
He needs some outing.
Okay, so, there is this one saying, but I have seen such jealous men like your co-presenters. Don't they think your husbands, don't they think your husbands are okay with your jobs? There is that, so, I mean.
Let's leave that private. You know how we wipe that.
We are going for a break. When we get back, we still have a lot to talk about here on Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We'll be back.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
It's better to foster respect instead of fear and pain.
Cause a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband. It's in deciding together when to have a baby. And for some, focusing on what's important right now. So what's your happiness? Make the right health decisions to ensure happiness for you and your family.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome once again. Right now we want to take a look at the weather situation across the country. We'll be getting it from satellites, that is the units of satellites overlooking Uganda this morning. And also we are starting off with quite a rainy system that is starting to develop, that is across the Lake Victoria Basin. It is headed westwards, mostly towards western Uganda. That means that's where we could be seeing rains for this morning. Where we see the orange, red and green colors, that's the rainy system that I'm talking about over there. And that is already bringing in light rains across parts of Masaka. We could be dealing with that for the rest of this morning. We're also looking at that propagating into the central part of Lake Victoria. So we could be looking at a few showers also coming through for areas within Kampala, parts of Wakiso as well. We could be looking at more of that. Well, we're seeing more clouds that are starting to develop across Midwestern Uganda, towards Midwestern Uganda. That is most likely to bring in rains later on. We're looking at also cloudy weather for Fort Poto, Mubende, and also some of that towards southwestern Uganda, that is over to Kabale Highlands, Kisoro. Quite a cloudy one for you, and looks like also temperatures are a little bit down over that area. Well, looking at the northern half of the country, we're starting off again with quite hot weather, where we see the open gray colors right there. That is indicating sunny skies. We're looking at areas right from Arua, we're looking at Gulu, Padel, Kitgum, Moroto, all the way to Kotido. We're looking at a sunny morning for you. Amuria, Mbale also dealing with quite a sunny one, and across parts of central Kampala also right now starting off with mostly sunny weather that is extending all the way up to areas of Mukono. We're looking at Mpigi also starting off quite sunny, but we do expect that we'll have intervals of cloudy conditions as the day continues. Now, also, if you look at a bigger extent from our models, what is being indicated for today, we're looking at the possibility of continuing with mostly dry conditions, that is across northern Uganda, but also that extends up to the eastern half of the country. And it looks like that is also indicating that we have a little bit of rains still expected for the southwestern area. So Kabale Highlands, where we're seeing a little bit of green colors over the south, that is where we expect a few rains, but the rest of the country seems to be really dry for today. Even the showers that are expected, especially for the Lake Victoria Basin, those will be in small quantities and over a few areas, so meaning that the rest of the country will be actually dry except the southwestern part of the country, and of course that is extending mostly towards Kabale Highlands. This is what we expect for Saturday. We're looking at yet almost a repeat of today. We'll be having mostly dry weather across most areas. We do see a pickup of wet weather activities that is for the Central Lake Victoria Basin. So meaning that areas within Entebbe, Kampala, Wakiso, we could see a few rains picking up, but also that will be in small quantities indicated by that light blue color. So still it will be quite a reduction in terms of general rainfall trend across the country. And we look at Sunday, that will get even more drier. That is what we expect for Sunday. We're seeing just a bit of the blue colors towards the Lake Victoria area, meaning that we could have rains just within the islands. But again, the Lake Victoria Basin will be mostly dry, and that is drier than Saturday. Could be looking at more sunny weather coming through again for much of the country, and temperatures will be a bit up, and we could actually be looking at the lower 30s, especially for the northern sector, with the continuous 3-day sunny conditions, and the same for eastern Uganda. At that, we could be looking at more of that. But still, while we're tracking some of the systems that are responsible for this kind of weather, we're looking at low pressure systems that did develop across Madagascar and across the Mozambique Channel. That is where we do have low pressure systems, where we're seeing the red colors right there. That is indicating low pressure systems. Also one over the Indian Ocean right there. It seems to be the one depriving us of a little bit of rains that would be enhanced, for example, from Lake Victoria. So that is a system that we're tracking down, and as it starts to fade away, as we start the new week, maybe by Monday, we could see a few rains picking up, especially for the southern sector. But otherwise, we're still going to be dealing with dry and sunny weather across much of the country. At a time like this, you want to be really careful and make sure that you don't have to complain, especially when it comes to warm weather. Well, that is it for our weather updates for this weekend. We'll be coming back right after the break to give you more of what we have for Friday.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is a Good Morning Uganda, a special Friday. Now, we want to talk movies and entertainment. We'll bring you a few of those and what can take you throughout the weekend. But also, if you are unable to catch a movie, we'll be spotting out a book or a good read for you for this weekend. Now, the first movie that I want to spot out for you, it is already showing in cinema, and of course, if you love animation, this is a good one, giving out a very good story. We are talking about the movie Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Well, it is an adventure, it's a comedy. It is talking about as this individual discovers discovers his passion for adventure, he then has to take it upon himself, and it is a toll when he learns that he has burned through 8 of the 9 lives. We know that cats are said to have 9 lives, but now apparently he already has gotten over the 8, so he has 9. He sets on an epic journey to find the mystical last wish and restore his 9 lives. That's the story. Let's take a look into the trailer.
Meet your new roommate.
Well, I'm supposed to be a fearless hero, a legend.
This is a person party. That's your party.
So this is where dignity goes to die. The years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Your Puss in Boots? Let's talk.
No hablo inglés.
¿Hablas español? Yo también. ¿De dónde eres? ¿Te gustan las fiestas?
I don't speak Spanish either.
You're funny. What's your story?
My story.
What are we looking at?
Cats have 9 lives. Watch! Watch! Watch!
Boss, I think you set the oven too high.
Now I am on my last life.
Oh no.
Legend tells of a wishing star, of a single wish waiting to be granted. Kitty's off, boss. I need your help.
Is the great Puss in Boots asking for help?
Well, you see, Kitty, please. That wish could get me my lives back.
Okay, Possum Face. I won't make you beg. But first...
Hey, slow down!
I know what I'm doing.
What? What's funny? Nothing should be funny.
Quieto.
Everyone is looking for a wishing star.
I'm going to wish for everything to be just right.
You will find your reward does not come easily.
Puss in Boots?
Goldie?
Bears?
All right, let's get it over with.
Quite a ride, and of course as he tries to get his 9 lives back. Well, another thing I want to spot out for you, and we're looking at an African story. African Queens, that's the documentary that is streaming on Netflix this February. It's coming out this February and talks about a story of a warrior and of course blending in the rise and reign of Queen Njinga of Angola amid family betrayal and political rivalries. This is a story, and of course does star in Jada Pinkett Smith, who is bringing in her feel on African culture. Well, this is one that we'll be showing this Feb, and we'll be taking a look into the trailer on what you can expect.
Throughout Africa to this day, it's time we all come to know her name.
All hail Queen Njinga! 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 Njinga!
Well, that is Njinga for you, and a story from Angola, but does actually bring in a lot of stories when you look at the trailer and some of the reviews that are coming out already, talking about this documentary on the reign of a queen. That is one we are looking forward to, and of course that will be streaming this February on Netflix. Now, another movie that is also coming out today, actually starting to stream today on Netflix, we're talking about a movie, Viking Wolf. Now, if you love a little bit of sci-fi, adventure, and of course interested in supernaturals, Viking Wolf is the movie that you will want to look at after witnessing a murder at a party in her new town. A teenager starts having strange visions and bizarre desires, all resulting from supernatural things that she does not understand. That is a story in Viking Wolf. We'll take a look into the trailer.
Bottle.
Tro mig när jag säger att ni har med ett blodtörstigt odjur att göra.
Såg du vad det var?
Alltså, jag vet inte.
De tror de har en ulv som har angrepet og tatt livet av en lokal ungdom.
Ulv dreper ikke mennesker.
Jag har jaktat detta hela mitt vuxna liv. En varg. En ulv. En varulv. Tro mig när jag säger att ni har med ett blodtörstigt odjur att göra som måste stoppas för smittan brer om sig. Blodslinjen måste kapas.
Fy fan, sjekk ut her, folkens. Har du rabies, eller vad?
Jag vet inte vad du tror att du håller på med här. En ung flicka är dräpt. Och du kommer hit och pratar om varulvar och vandrarhistorier.
Varulven ni har gående lös här i Nybo, det är ingen vandrarhistoria.
Horrific right there, talking about wolves, and of course that is a story being showcased, how much those powers could actually get to someone. But if you are looking for a good read or something to also take your time with when it comes to books, there is one I want to suggest for you. We're talking about that is a book by Xavier Zamora. Now Xavier Zamora has really had a good run when it comes to writing books. He is the 2017 Narrative Prize winner. He also did get an award in 2016 as the Barnes and Noble Writer to the Writers Award for his work in most of the campaigns he has been doing. He has written a memoir about his life journey, and this is a very interesting one. A 3,000-mile journey from his small town in El Salvador. That's the story that is being told in this book. We are talking about Solito, a memoir by Xavier Zamora, a New York bestseller, giving you a read on a young poet telling inspiring stories of his migration from a small town, El Salvador, to the United States at the age of 9. Now, in the memoir, he talks about his bravery, the hope, and also how to find a family amidst all that. This is one that has already been given very, very good ratings. Goodreads actually gave it 4.5 over 5. You also have Guns and Barnes that already gave him an award, that the 2016 award actually when he was rated as the best writer, but also Google Reads giving it 91%. This is one that would actually be giving you a lot of the life stories, you know, finding a family, being in a strange place, and you hear people talking about the American dream. But what does that involve? What does it take? What are the challenges that are there before you achieve the American dream? So that is one to look out for this weekend and could give you a little bit of insight on a life of a teenager at a young age moving into a different country. A lot of people might also resonate to that or relate to that, especially if you've moved from one place to the other. That's what you can have for this weekend, and of course we do still have more coming your way. We'll also be giving you a little bit of highlights in terms of sports. The team is still here. We'll be going in for a short break. When we come back, we'll get you more of that.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
That is my name, here to give you sports, but I will start with the fathers. On Tuesday, I did actually make a trip to Nabingo to Inter College, and I was so disappointed with men who are absentee fathers. I mean, I sat in a queue that had over 80 women, and we were only 3 men coming to look for S1 vacancies or placements in those schools. And I'm asking fathers, where are you? These are your children. They carry your legacy, they carry your name, they carry your blood, and you let women struggle with their children when you were there just enjoying alcohol and whatever you were enjoying. That was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I actually went to 2 schools. I went to Gayaza High, then I ended up in Nagarama St. Joseph. Again, I was so shocked to find that even in those queues of the 2 schools, I did not see men. Where are men in their children's education? I have not seen men get involved. Whoever is involved as a man, we salute you and say thank you. But why do you let women? Why do you let women take charge of your children's education? And when the children graduate, you come and boast, hey, we have been there in the journey. We have been doing that. Where have you been when anyway? Let me go to sports, because when I talk about men, they will hate me forever. But you need to be present in your children's education, men. And those who don't do it, please do it. Start doing it. Because that's the only way you can know when your child is capable of doing what. And the best investment can you have as parents, as fathers to our children is education. Is education, nothing else. Property will go, everything will go, but education will stay. Anyway, England, we have Premier League that will be commencing tomorrow. The kickoff is actually at 2:30. 3:30, if that's the best one where you stay, in terms of maybe continent, if that's the better word to use. But of course, at 3:30, we'll have Everton against Arsenal. That will be at Goodison Park. And then Aston Villa will take on Leicester. Brentford will take on Southampton, Brighton against Bournemouth, Man U will take on Palace, Wolves will take on Liverpool, and Newcastle will take on West Ham. That will be the late kickoff on Saturday, that is tomorrow. And then, of course, on Sunday in England, we'll have a couple of games as well. Forest will take on Leeds, and Spurs will take on, Spurs will be taking on, that is Man City. That is in the Premier League. Then, of course, in the La Liga, tomorrow we'll have Espanyol against Osasuna. Elche will take on Villarreal. Atletico Madrid will take on Getafe, and Real Betis will take on Celta Vigo. That will be in the Spanish La Liga. Then, of course, on Sunday in La Liga, on Sunday, Mallorca will take on Real Madrid, Girona will take on Valencia, Sociedad will take on Valladolid, and Barcelona will take on Sevilla. The late game, that will be at 11 p.m. But that will be a good game to catch, Sevilla against Barcelona. What a game there. Then in the Serie A, we have a couple games will be 3 tomorrow in the Serie A. That will be Saturday. At 5 we shall have Cremonese against Lecce. And then Roma will take on Empoli, and the team that humped or that walloped, if that's the better word to use, AC Milan at San Siro, that is Sassuolo, will take on Atlanta. That will be at 10:45 tomorrow. But what a shame to the famous AC Milan. How could you concede 5 at San Siro? I saw legends seated in the stands when I was watching that game on Saturday last weekend, and I saw Ambrosini and Bida Costacata disgusted with the performance of the stars that were played for AC Milan. Just imagine a legend who won 5 Champions League trophies and 7 Scudettos coming to watch his beloved club, and all he sees is the team conceding 5 at home against a against a minnow like Sassuolo. It was really shaming for those legends. Anyway, but on Sunday, Spezia will take on Napoli, Torino will take on Udinese, Fiorentina will take on Bologna, and Inter will take on AC Milan in that famous Milan derby. And the way Milan is playing, I think Inter might have an upper hand. The blue side of Milan might dominate the red side of Milan, and that is Inter might beat AC Milan in that fixture, because Milan are not playing well at all. They have considered 9 goals in 2 games, just 9. 4 against Lazio, and then 5 against Sassuolo. So if Inter has Lautaro Martinez and Romelu Lukaku, how many can they ship in? Maybe more than 20. But anyway, in the Bundesliga as well, that will be returning tomorrow. Bochum will take on Hoffenheim, Dortmund against Freiburg, Frankfurt will take on Hertha Berlin, Cologne, Leipzig, Union Berlin, Mainz, and Gladbach will take on Schalke 04. That will be in the German Bundesliga. Then, of course, on Sunday as well, there will be 2 games in the German Bundesliga. Stuttgart will take on Werder Bremen, and Wolfsburg will take on Bayern Munich, and that game will be at the VW Arena. That will be at 7:30 p.m. Well, also the French League One will return, as well as so many other leagues. But away from that, briefly about NBA, away from the French League, we will have a couple of games that were on your screen there. Edmond, let's get them back, the French League 1 games, before we proceed to basketball. We'll have Clermont will take on Monaco, Ajaccio will take on Nantes, Auxerre will take on Reims, Lorient will take on Angers, and then Montpellier will be in action against Strasbourg, Brest will take on Lens, and Marseille will take on Nice. That will be in the French League 1. Then, of course, in basketball, we had games played this morning, and the Pacers did actually lose to the Lakers by just a single point. That was 111 for the Pacers and 112 for the Lakers. Then the Cavs did beat the Grizzlies. That was 123-28 for the Cavs and 113 for the Grizzlies. And then the Knicks did beat the Heat. That was 106 to 104 for the Heat. The Bulls beat the Hornets 114 to 98. The Mavericks as well beat the Pelicans. That was 111 to 106. The Nuggets beat the Warriors 134 to 117. And lastly, the Bucks did lose to the Clippers. That was 105 to 104. Tomorrow morning, the Wizards will take on the Blazers, and that game will be at 3 a.m. You can catch that game at the Capital One Arena. That is tomorrow morning. Then the Boston Celtics will take on the Phoenix Suns. That will be at the TD Garden at 3:30 a.m. That is tomorrow morning. San Antonio Spurs at the AT&T Center will take on the 76ers. Joel Embiid will be in action for the 76ers. And then the Jazz at the Vivint Arena will take on the Atlanta Hawks. That will be at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And the Pistons will take on the Hornets as well. That will be at the Little Caesars Arena. Then we'll have the Pacers against the Kings. The Wizards will take on the Blazers. The Celtics will take on the Suns. The Raptors will take on the Rockets. And then the Dwarves will take on the Magic. The Spurs against 76ers, as well as the Jazz against the Hawks. That will be in the NBA basketball. Well, I've got to go. You can catch those games on your pay TV channels. That will be from tomorrow, actually from tonight. You can watch the games, European game, the football games. Then, of course, you can also catch the NBA games tomorrow morning. That will be starting at 3 a.m. You can always watch basketball and get to see who is dominating the Western Conference and, of course, the Eastern Conference. Well, I've got to go, and I'll have to leave it to the guys here, Felix, Philo, and Mollen, to take it through. But fathers, like I said, who do not want to be part of your children's education, what's your role? Is it to look for fees and then go back and do other things? Maybe that's the role, but it makes sense if you were part of the journey. Besides giving school fees, also be part of the physical journey. Look for the better school for your daughter or your son. Maybe that can make you more of a father than a father who donates money and doesn't know what happens after donating money. Anyway, have yourselves a lovely weekend. See you Monday. Of course, I'll leave like I said, I'll leave at the stage for the team to take you through up the hour of 9. Good morning.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's better to foster respect instead of fear and pain.
Cause a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops, and the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Okay, so these receipts, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it's Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and I do see quite some more feedback that is coming in regarding the discussion we were having, and there is one viewer who is saying jealousy is about treasuring values and balance, and it's also about treasuring what you have. However, there is risk associated with whatever you treasure. Healthy jealousy is not bad. However, career for both husband and wife cannot be a substitute for a family. And I do also see feedback here coming in from Kennedy saying that I would like to inform that that women are mothers, and they can be able to take care of a home all the time, especially when they're children, but should also have home incoming generating activities, and probably shops, modern agriculture, and all the others. Thank you so much, Kennedy. There is really quite a whole lot of feedback that we could go through, but the conversation is still going on our socials, but we're not getting into that conversation right now.
No, you should let Mollen
modern agriculture.
Give her a moment to get
I need to give Mollen a moment.
I see someone adding to Robert's submission. What is modern agriculture again?
But Gilbert should have explained. I wish she was
Give
here.
us example. You're his friend. You probably know what he was probably meaning. What is encompassed in modern agriculture?
Robert will answer this.
You want tell a woman stay home olunde nkoko. That is, I think, the modern agriculture.
It's part of it, probably.
Anyway,
what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it.
If it's
There's
an
nothing
interest,
wrong with it if that's what she wants. But you cannot tell her, now leave your career. You're a manager somewhere, or you're a director somewhere, or you're just an employee somewhere.
Like, leave your
and
career,
then you're
leave
like,
your career.
come and kurunda nkoko in the name of modern agriculture.
Make that your career.
Please,
Duh.
please.
Like,
Anyway, your career.
The weekend is here. Let me tell you, this gentleman and this lady, they will never. The weekend is here.
Not work.
What are we doing this weekend, Mollen? And
no, this weekend,
Felix.
definitely we're going to be in church. Yeah, we're going to be doing some baptism, of course, for some of us.
Yeah, are you a godparent again?
No.
Or you are the one baptized?
Yeah. Yeah, much more of that kind of thing, and we're going to do mostly his family. You know, we can majorly church. Yesterday really nice. I was in Uraga for the midday, about 1. There's normally mass there, and you know, Thursdays we do adoration as Catholics. Every other church, I think that was dogma that was passed by the church. So for Catholics, get some time for the adoration. I don't know in Uganda okwolesa sacramento, so I was there in Uraga. It was a good moment. So I don't know if my sisters here copy. There's one sister I know who doesn't copy.
Who is that?
The love sister.
Well, you see, all of us here are actually Catholics, and we.
You are just talking to the wrong people because we are also Catholics.
We are also Catholics.
I'm preaching to the converted. No, but this weekend I think we should be more intentional about church. It's a good time to start the month on that note. The beauty is that pray, have some time in meditation, do some Bible classes with the kids, all these, you know, these things. Yeah. Not much is happening this weekend, I think, on the entertainment spectrum. I've not heard of any.
I'm just going to sit and wait for who?
Yeah, though there are big preparations for the Gwanga Muje concert.
Oh,
it's up in here. Joseph Mayanja, aka Jose Chameleon, will be having his concert, I think, the other weekend that is coming. And but also Sunday we have in the Grammys. This Sunday. Eddie Kenzo is down in LA already. He was part of a dinner that was yesterday. I saw him with Matt B. We had a bit of chats, and everything is good. Our expectations are quite high. We pray that he gets this one. I saw the Ugandan embassy, American embassy, post him. I love that. The ambassador did make a good statement about our boy.
Showing some good solidarity.
The tourism. I think it's our time to hype this up. I've had many radio stations have this conversation. Let us just pray that he brings this Grammy. We need it. We need it. I love the fact that last time he got the BET, he donated it to the museum.
Museum. Yes, I was at the museum recently and I saw it.
Lovely. And that's the spirit. That's the spirit. So he took it there.
Shall he also donate the Grammy Award?
Well, if honestly, he would. That's why we need to promote. And this is what we say about promoting arts. We have talked about this every day. Like, remember last time we had this same discussion in relation to academics and what they call co-curricular. You can see how far. We are yet to see a heart surgeon who has been on the international scene. People who talk about sciences and scientists and whatever. This is a musician who has flown here. The Kipro teachers of this world. You've had the Dennis Onyangos, the Jibrahim Seka Jazz. So let's also have space for this, what you call co-curriculum.
Our boy is bringing that award. I'm very optimistic.
Trust me, even if it doesn't, he has
the nomination is already a win itself.
Giving him a mileage, and I think now he has a chance now relate with some of these international artists that will be at the Grammys.
You should have seen him at the dinner.
He looked like he was a Ugandan.
And you know, he could. This is a good platform. You know, there are some of these artists that are not aware that we have good musicians from Africa as a whole. But this would actually put up a good platform for collaboration.
Honestly,
and I would
one
want
of the
that
most painful songs that hurt me is the song of Party After Party.
Big Trill.
Big Trill.
Yes.
Now that song was such a big hit internationally, but Big Trill didn't get anything out of that song, to the point that even people like P. Diddy redid it. The Angelina Jolie I saw do like
Cardi B was rapping to it.
And I'm thinking, where is you know, that's our homeboy from Rubaga. We used to go to the same school, Rubaga boys. But I'm like, man, where are you? P Square came here, and P Square was like, isn't that like a Nigerian song? Like, he didn't have any idea who. So if you're having, I think that's one of the things, also talent management and all that.
Really have to tap so much into
it. Yeah, they have a lot to do
as
an industry.
Mollen, weekend is here. What's the plan?
This weekend, I think I'm a parent actually, so I do have a lot of students to take back to school. Some tomorrow, some Sunday. So I'm thinking that will be encompassed in all that. That might take a much of the weekend, but I'll find time for the morning mass on Sunday before I take the kids back to school. That's basically my weekend. This is not my usual weekend, but it's also a weekend where I feel, oh wow, I'm responsible enough.
It's not your typical weekend.
Yeah, it's not my typical weekend. But when I see a weekend like this, I feel a lot of pride. I'm like, whoa. I am a parent to people, and this is a good thing.
Well, this weekend is going to be a weekend of work for me. So basically, there is continuity from now till, so yeah, there is that as well. But it's always a pleasure to have you be with us throughout the course of the week, Monday all the way till Friday. You know, starting the mornings with us, making us a cup of coffee and tea. I mean, who are we? We will see you on Monday, hopefully. And we'll be having again some more interesting conversations. I'm pretty sure there is a lot of news that is going to be made over the weekend on the political front, economic scene, and social spectrum as well. We'll be back on Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful week and ahead. And for the parents taking back the children, we hope everything goes on well. Like Mollen over here, we only wish the very best for these candidates, rather these students who are starting off their first term in all these new classes. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Okay, so these receipts, okay, plus this one equals,
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just...
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Happiness comes to us in many places. It's in knowing the mosquito net keeps our children healthy. The wife having the support of her husband.